Hi guys, I'm Avi Manik, and welcome to the first episode of PARTcast. Today with us we have Corey. He's the president of PART. Corey, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Corey. I'm the president of PART, and I started in freshman year, so I saw PART at my BGR club fair, and it caught my eye, and I joined the aeromechanical team at the time, and ever since then I've just been kind of pretty involved with it. I'm a junior in aerospace engineering now, so had a lot of fun over the years with it.
Nice. And right now, as your role as president, what does your day-to-day look like?
Yeah, so I mean, for some context, PART has 3 divisions. So there's business division, competition division, and R&D division. I don't have a specific placement. I'm kind of just the overseer of all that. So I have to make sure everybody is on track with what they're doing, make sure everybody's meeting their technical goals, make sure everybody's on track to just meet whatever the goal of that team is. So for competition, the goal is to make a good aircraft and win that competition, and the R&D team is to develop some good technology. Business team is to kind of be the backbone. So I kind of dip in wherever I'm needed with that and provide help and guidance.
Okay. And now, if you had to pick a favorite experience you've had at PART, or your favorite aspect of the way the organization is right now, what would that be?
So, I mean, we've seen a lot of change over the last, 3 years that I've been here. We started as kind of more of a larger, I won't say disarray, but just it was less division of teams. So we didn't have product teams. It was just kind of, here's the mechanical folks and here's the electrical folks. And it's been a good experience seeing it kind of divide down into product teams now. We have airframe team, which has some electrical members, some aerospace members, some mechanical members. We have our avionics team, same thing, software members, electrical members. So it's really good to see it shift towards what we see as what's best for the club. But as a member of the club, it's just been awesome to see the cycle that we go through every year of let's make this design that is just purely on paper and see it go all the way through until that first test flight. That's always been a great experience.
Okay. Now, what do you think the aerial robotics team, PART, as a club brings to the university and students that might want to join the club?
Yeah, so, I mean, PART is, the great thing about PART is it's very interdisciplinary. So while we are the aerial robotics team, there's a lot of aspects to that, right? It's not just an aerospace team or it's not just an electrical team. It's really a place that people can all come together and create something really cool by combining their abilities, whereas some other aerospace clubs or electrical clubs might not be as broad as that. They might be a little more focused. So having that aspect is really, really nice. And it's also a place that we like to, really exhibit that we allow hands-on experiences. So you can be a freshman coming in and it's your first week there and you're already building carbon fiber things, which is like industry standard, right? So having that experience is incredibly unique, and we pride ourselves on allowing people to have access to those things.
Okay. That's nice. I also joined this year as a freshman, and I was able to get into the business management division. I didn't know it was a part of it.
Yeah.
Originally, my roommate, who's on the R&D team, he told me about it, and I reached out to Zaz, and he was like, "Sure, we need all the help we can get."
Yeah.
And now I'm running social media.
Exactly.
It's been
right.
great.
So this is you didn't have much experience beforehand, and now hopefully PART's been providing that for you. So it really, we try to keep it as just a place where people can just do things no matter what their experience is, and we aim to give them that experience.
Yeah. Next, what's the best way, or your favorite way you've seen the club change or improve in your tenure?
Yeah, so there's been a couple different phases unofficially on PART. When I started here, again, it was a lot less. There was no business team. There was maybe a business person. There was no R&D team. It was just the competition team. And it was kind of like whoever wants to do things in this general area, go contribute to it. And myself and the past leadership through that time has really made it into what it is today, which is more of an organized structure that allows actual, different teams that are dedicated to things in a very helpful way. And we've aimed to build it that way to kind of reflect industry, to make it so people, no matter what they're in, business or the engineering side of things, it allows them to really understand before going into industry what that experience is going to be like, so they have that preparation in place to experience that proper organization. We've switched to agile workflow, which is a huge thing in industry. So it's just been a large shift to make that more accessible and make that a more valuable experience, in addition to just build something cool, right? We want to have build something cool in a realistic environment that actually gives you good experience.
Yeah, I was actually just talking about this with my roommate today. I was running through the questions with him to see if he had any thoughts, and he was telling me how I should go more in depth about like the general structure of PART now, because it mimics like big corporations now so well that it gives students a real opportunity to walk through that in a place where they have more room to grow, more room for error.
Yeah, exactly. Because
so they can learn.
Yeah,
they can grow into it.
Like, there's a lot of great clubs at Purdue, but a lot of the things I've seen with them, and it works for them, but a lot of things I've seen is just it's really focused on just building what the club is for, right? So if you're, a rocket club, build that rocket, and don't focus so much on the general structure and how important that is.
Yeah.
So we really strive for that.
Yeah. Now, as I think everyone in this room is aware, I don't know about everyone watching, but we have the competition coming up in the next few months. How do you feel about the competition, the team this year going into the competition?
Yeah, so, again, through my past years, that's a big change I've seen is preparedness for the competition. I always love looking back at our different airframes that we've had. You go from a tube with a little other tube on it, and now we're getting to the point where we have full-scale, proper carbon fiber UAVs. So every year I get more confident about our competition team. In my first year, we built an aircraft and we crashed it like 4 times, and then last year we built one and we didn't crash it a single time in testing. So every year we are successfully getting to that point where we are better and better and better through transitioning members and through growing as a team. We're just getting better at competition. So I'd say I'm decently confident that we will at least, get hopefully top 5 this year. We will definitely do our best to show ourselves at competition.
That's nice. I look forward to that. The scale of the plane, I did not realize how big it was until we were at the team photos last semester, and I got that and was just there. It's huge.
Yeah,
I did not expect that.
Yeah, 13 feet is a number until you actually see that giant wingspan. It's a real, you could sell it basically. It's a massive thing.
Now, looking into the future, what do you expect to see from PART in the next 5 years, even after your tenure ends? What's your vision for the club for the next 5 years?
Yeah, so we've all, me and the previous presidents, the previous leadership, have all been setting up for just growth. We've been trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and have the infrastructure so we can grow like that. Again, previously it was just kind of focusing on the product, but now we're getting to the point where we can really start to be, maybe one of, or if not the biggest aerospace club on campus, as well as hopefully software club and electrical club. So in the future, I hope that we will continue to see numbers get more and more, big for the club. I remember looking this year at the beginning at our numbers in our Slack channel, and it was basically double the recruitment that we had. So we started with maybe 100 and something members beginning of last year, and the beginning of this year we had 200 and something. So that was good to see, and I hope to continue that in a organized manner, so it's not just adopting people and then they kind of scatter around. I hope to continue the structure for that. Yeah,
I look forward to seeing what gets done.
Yeah, no, I hope
as a part of the club.
I hope throughout all the younger members' years that does continue, right? And along with that, we've really been kind of changing our transition phase. So it might have started out with me, it was hey, you're lead, okay, figure it out. But right now we're trying to adopt a more slow transition so everybody's actually up to date, and that should help with the transition. We'll see.
Okay, now we're going to change pace a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to go into more fun questions. Now, while I was prepping for this and thinking of questions and doing research on you, I was talking to Zaz and Isha, and there was some talk about all-nighters. So I
Okay.
want to know how many all-nighters you think you've pulled in the last 3 years.
Oh man, I couldn't count them on both hands. I'll tell you that much. Well, I mean, part and school, both contribute to that. I would say probably around 15 to 20. But the way I do all-nighters personally is stay up until about 7 or 8, like sunrise, and then just sleep for like 2 hours. So I don't know if that counts. One of my favorite all-nighters that I've had is when we were first building last year's aircraft, though. We stayed up until sunrise, and I have a picture of the moment that we all just like stepped back and saw the year of work. It just like finally become an airplane, and it was like a wild experience because it was just brand new. Like nobody expected, like you saw how big it was, right? Nobody expected that to be as real and cool as it was, if that makes sense. It was just a very alarming but cool experience as well. But all-nighters are definitely what can fuel this club sometimes, but
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. In my experience, all-nighters in high school, like for the IB diploma, it was a lot of work. It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
It's what you had to do to pass. But what I've seen at PART is that if everyone is doing what they like to do, there's no one's forcing you to be a part of the club.
Yeah.
So you're there because you love it. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're staying up all night doing what you love.
Yeah, it's a
not that
fun all-nighter. It's get a little bit of Monster in your system, and then just be with people that you enjoy being with and building something you enjoy building. An all-nighter can be a very beautiful thing in a way. So I don't have any negative thoughts towards the ones that I've had. Maybe some of the school-related ones, but
Yeah.
in part, or in a club in general, right? It's good to experience that with fun people.
Yeah. So also during my research, I heard a story about how PART and the lab, the location of the lab, played a role in your decision for your apartment, which apartment you would stay in off campus. Do you
Yeah.
want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. So last year, you have to pick your apartment in November, so pretty early on. So at that time, I was the airframe lead for PART, which means I was in the build lab every single day. Our lab back then was mostly in Armstrong. Armstrong is a very convenient spot academically, especially for an engineer, because you have a lot of classes around there. So right now I'm living in Waldron Square, which is an apartment that is just right on Stadium Ave. So it's like a 2-minute walk from Armstrong. So it definitely played into it. Another fun thing is that 2 of my roommates are also in PART. So I have 3 roommates. 2 of them are in PART. So I have John, who is our airframe lead currently, and Dane, who is our software lead right now. They are both my roommates. So PART definitely created, kind of defined my housing now that you mention it.
Yeah, it's very similar with me. I came in as a business major, and I got put in Ad Heart, which is mostly engineers.
Yeah.
And so my roommates in PART, the 2 kids diagonal from our room are also in PART.
Yep.
Most of the friends I made were a part of PART until I joined in eventually, because I was like, well, everyone's doing it. I have to see
Might as
what
well,
all this
right.
is about. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it spreads, the people spread it, and that is maintained true. I made some great friends in PART that will last a lifetime, so it's a good place for that. Great community.
Yeah. Okay. Now, is there any funny stories or favorite memories from PART that you would want to share with everyone?
That is a tough one. Funny stories. Let me think. There definitely are some, but again, I have been here quite a while. If no specific stories come to mind, just if you spend enough time in a build lab with somebody, it's going to get pretty goofy in there. Like me and Mateo, our current competition lead, we haven't exited the build lab for 12-hour stretches, and by the end of that, it's just anything that happens, you're just dying laughing, right? You get spray foam on something and you just start crying, and
Yeah.
it's a funny experience. I can't think of any right now, but any specific ones, but I'll let you know if I
Yeah,
think
no,
of them.
I understand. It's kind of difficult to think of on the spot.
Do you have any so far, or anything you've heard of?
I mean, It's not really during part, but after part, my roommate was coming back from the lab. He was on his bike, and one of his friends saw him from across the street, and he was on his bike, and he thought it'd be really funny if he drove right into him.
Nice.
He drove into him, bent his wheel,
Oh.
broke his bike. He had to wheel it back in the rain in 20 minutes.
That's an exciting one.
Yeah.
I'm now thinking of not really a story, but I remember on the same all-nighter night that I mentioned where we first did that build, we cut a lot of carbon fiber, which leaves a lot of dust around. So I remember I had a 7:30 class the next morning, so I obviously didn't sleep between the build and the class. And I go to class and I looked down at my hands and there was like probably a 1/4-inch coating of carbon fiber, and I couldn't like it was like hard. It's like I had frostbite. It was like just hard to the touch and like crumbling my fingers off. That's a very vivid memory for me. That was an interesting one. We have a lot of we had on our first test of our airdrop system last year, we like parachuted it up from a couple hundred feet, and it just fell down right into a tree. And I think it was about an hour and like 10 people trying to get that thing out of the tree. So that's always a fun experience.
That's a good one. I actually just on the part Instagram, I posted a clip of the airdrop test from this year.
Yeah.
That we got. It's pretty exciting.
Hopefully no trees in that one.
There were not. No.
That's good.
One of them was a slow-mo that was being recorded from 30 seconds before it was thrown.
Oh.
So it was a 5-minute video
How fun.
of this guy just throwing it off.
Off
Because
the parking garage?
I guess he realized it was already in slow-mo, so you didn't even get to actually see it fall. They were just talking about it.
That's a great video, yeah.
Yeah. I did not post that, sadly.
That's probably a good idea. Don't post that one.
Yeah.
A little too long.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
Now, question for another just fun question. What's your favorite and least favorite class you've taken?
I can go least favorite. Well, I have 2 least favorites.
You go least favorite, and if you want to call out the professor.
You want me to do that?
If you want to.
I don't really want to out myself like that. I hate the class for the class, not the professor. Although I do have some opinions on professors that I will keep to myself. Thermodynamics has been. I hate that class. It is awful. It is uninteresting, and respectfully, I don't think I'm ever going to use it in my life. And signal analysis. Who cares, right? I don't. And my grade wasn't great either in either of those classes. I struggle with getting good grades in classes that I'm uninterested in, and those are the 2 classes that I just could not care less about. Thermodynamics and signal processing. Favorite though, maybe dynamics is pretty cool, and then fluid mechanics is pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, you're not in aerospace.
This is just for the audience.
Yeah.
Half of that went over my head.
That's fair. Me too.
I've heard of the thermodynamics class before.
It's
because
just like,
everyone's complained about it.
Yeah, there you go. It's just like heat.
Yeah.
What about you? I'm curious.
My least favorite class in my 1.5 semesters has been microeconomics.
Oh, dude, I took that.
Yeah. I think you know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think don't do this. I went to like 1 lecture ever in that class, and it showed.
I went to the lectures to get my attendance credit.
Smart.
There were some errors on some things, and it was just very annoying.
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't care
if
about
you
micro.
have to choose between micro and macroeconomics, which you will as an engineering major, pick macro.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But go to class.
Yeah.
Probably good advice along all classes, I would say.
Always go to class.
Yeah.
Never skip class.
Yes, for sure.
Now, the last, and I think this is my favorite question. It's the most important one.
Okay.
If you had to pick between fighting 100 geese-sized elephants or 1 elephant-sized goose, what would you pick and why?
I'll go with the geese-sized elephants, because you're like fought a goose, or like squared up with a goose. Like they're mean.
Their teeth are scary.
Yeah. So imagine scaling those teeth up.
Yeah.
Like what, 20 times? An elephant, I don't care. Like they're nice.
Yeah.
Like elephants don't really mess with you, even if they were tiny and in a mass, right?
Yeah. I think what makes elephants scary when they're angry is their size. So if you take that away, they don't really have anything.
I feel like I could beat a goose-sized elephant in a fight pretty easily. So give me 100, I'm fine.
I think if you just take one, keep it as a pet, as a lesson to the others.
That's another way to approach that, I guess. But yeah, the goose size or the elephant sized goose, they'll just bite your head off.
That's a scary one.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah. No, I had a couple of friends who I asked this question to last night, and they were like, obviously I'll take the goose. It's a bird. How hard can it be? And then I pulled up photos of the teeth.
Yeah. Well, they can fly.
Yeah.
So imagine that thing like stomping on you.
Like a 2-ton goose just flying to you.
I'm good. No thanks. That's no good.
Well, I guess we know now that Corey would rather fight 100 geese-sized elephants.
That is not the official part opinion. That's just me personally.
That's Corey's personal opinion. Part does not take an official stance.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. But I think that's the key takeaway.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the entire thing.
Yeah. None of my voiced opinions today represent anything that part.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Thermodynamics is great.
Love that class.
According to Part.
Yeah. Part supports thermo.
Yeah. We do not speak for Part. We speak for ourselves.
True. Very true.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here with us, Corey. And let's see if we do this with other members in the future.
I'll be watching.
Thank you. Oh, wait.
Oh.
We have a button.
Do it. Crush that.
Yeah.